known that they've got a big fight when Boxing Bros is in town. That's when you know. That's when you know. So
Ehis the Boss Chris, Andrew the Boxing Brain. Let's get into it. Eubank Jr, Conor, Benn. Final predictions, previews, final thoughts, whatever you want to fucking call it. Right, let's go. Firstly, the Face Off. Have you watched Face Off yet?
Bits. I've seen reels. I've seen reels of it.
Yeah, hey, we love the reels. I want to ask you a question. So, I think that Junior is trying the same thing he did last time, and it ain't working.
Yeah,
it's not working, and he's the one who's getting a bit antagonised because Conor Benn's not letting him get in his head this time. You're the Boxing Brain. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, we thought this with the first kind of presser, didn't we, when we spoke about it, where Chris Eubank Jr. was going down some kind of funny angles, and I felt he should have just been doubling down and, look, I beat you. You're walking around as if you've won this fight. At the end of the day, and we felt he kind of should have been going down that route a little bit more, saying that, I think psychologically, if I'm putting that kind of, part of my brain on, that he should have said, look, I've had to do all this rehydration within 10 pounds on the morning after. You've put me through this, right? All these clauses, and I still beat you, even in spite of that. And I think he should have been doubling down on that I'm a weaker version of myself. That would have maybe got under Conor Benn's skin more. I'm a weaker version of myself because of what this contract's putting me through. All very well that I've decided to do it. Of course, he's decided to do it, but I'm taking a lot away from myself, and I still got the job done. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But he went in a different angle,
he's got the violins out. Oh, feel sorry for me, my toe fell off. And violins out. Oh, feel sorry for me, my toe fell off. And I will touch on that quickly before we go to the fight. So he released his footage. And he said, wait till the footage comes out. It's not proving anything. All it's proving is that he was delayed 20 minutes getting out the venue, but that isn't Eddie Hearn's fault. That isn't the British Box Award. I don't think they did it on purpose. Obviously, it's Napa. We got respect for Napa. We got respect for Eubank Jr. But I just don't think that the way he's going on, that it was deliberate and he's just flogging a dead horse and he may as well just move on and forget about it. No one would try and kill somebody on purpose and stop them getting to the hospital to get treatment.
That was very strange, Chris, that I thought, using that, going down that angle. And that was what I was talking about. I'm glad you went into a bit more detail there, because what I find strange, unless he's trying to be disliked by doing that, completely backfired. Maybe in his mind he thought it would have a different effect. But to me, I don't know, if you're trying to score points, but that is quite a, dare I say, insidious thing to accuse someone. I know boxing is quite an insidious, political, murky sport at times, but to suggest people have purposefully held it back to put your health at risk, I did find that really unsafe. Like I say, going down weird angles, Chris, with all that stuff.
And then one more thing before we go on the fight. Point. Benn Shalom again, making himself look like a dickhead.
Before Spencer comes in, on the rehydration clause this time, the news at the moment is you didn't challenge it this time. Did you or not?
This time?
Yeah, this time around.
This time, the initial time it was put in front of us, it was an ultimatum. It was, the fight's not happening unless this. So Chris is in a difficult position then. Everything's been agreed. Everything. You're talking, we've gone through the contract, we've done every single clause. We get to the last moment, I think it was, if I remember, maybe just before the press conference or something, and then it was landed on us, an ultimatum like that. Is it healthy? Is it right? Is it absolutely, should it be banned from boxing? Absolutely. Did Prince Crawford need a rehydration clause against Canelo? No, we didn't. And so I don't think it should not be used in this fight. The rehydration clause is what is a problem. and that is what should be not happening in this fight.
And a big problem, wasn't it? And a big arguing point, and still the arguing point going into
It
this
just
one.
shouldn't be allowed in British boxing. It shouldn't be allowed. Why can you put that into a contract? The fighter's safety is paramount. That's what the board are here to do. It shouldn't be happening. I don't believe it will happen.
You said it. That's what the board are here to do. Robert Smith was also roundly criticised by Chris Eubank Jr. as well. What can you do to remonstrate with the board over it then?
Just that should it's not within the rules of British boxing.
But can you take them to task over it? Can you do it legally and contractually?
First of all, legally, we're not going to get in the tangle like that with the board. I've got a lot of respect for Robert, a lot of respect for the British board, and they do a lot. I'm saying, as a boxing fan, don't put ultimatums on fighters to do rehydration clauses that don't exist in any regulation for any world title. It's not safe. I've seen it firsthand. I'm in that hospital with him after that fight, and there's only one reason, and it's dehydration.
You're clearly angry about it.
No, it just shouldn't. Everyone can see it for what it is. It shouldn't happen. In the end, Chris is a money man, and he accepted the challenge.
Floating around saying we had to sign the rehydration clause because just before the press conference, they said, look, there's a contract, rehydration clause or not, sign it or don't. If you don't sign it, there's no fight. So what? Imagine the backlash. We would all be on your side and backing you as a people's champ still, because no one wants you to do that rehydration clause. So it wasn't like he was forced to sign it. So I don't know why Ben Shalom is trying to say that he was forced. No, he wasn't. Because he could have said, I'm not signing it. And he could have gone on and said, the pussies, they still want the rehydration clause. I did it last time. I'm not doing it again. It's not safe. So I didn't sign it. Sorry, everyone, letting everyone down. And we would have been happy because no one really wanted this fight again. One and done was good enough. So I don't know. What's your take on it? Like that excuse that they were forced to sign it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't even know what. I mean, this is Ben Shalom. I mean, this whole thing. Ben Shalom just never comes across great anyway, does he? Never doesn't seem to be able to kind of put a foot right at the moment, does he? Everything seems to be just backfiring. I think it's a charisma issue. You know, the whole thing with the Liam Cameron contract where his legal team didn't spot the 10-round thing. And there always seems to be these little mistakes and the purse bids. Yeah. And I don't really know. It all seems a little bit kind of weird with Ben Shalom, really. Yeah.
I think it's the excuses as well, like own it. Feeble man. I just wish he'd own it. Yeah, own your shit and say, well, they weren't going to take the fight if we didn't sign it, so we signed it because they paid us handsomely for it. Instead of saying, well, we signed it, so the fight was made, but we're going to pay the fine and breach it and all that shit. And it's just like, oh, grow up.
Yeah, it's the way he goes about stuff for me, Ben Shalom. You've got two promoters. I know Eddie Hearn, well, he's been in the game quite a while now, but he's been under the tutelage of his father, Barry, and has understood the business from a very young age. Frank Warren, nobody knows the business more than Frank Warren. And he's sort of trying to strong-arm the situation and doing all these hijinks and games, not always looking particularly professional, getting contracts written up wrong. How's that going to look to the other two major promoters in this country? I know we probably never ever get an interview with Ben Shalom. We cannot, but at the end of the day, Chris, me and you, in our side of the business, the media side, we can only critique what we see, mate, can't we? And we're not going to sit here and say, oh, he's been fabulous. He's done some good things. He put on some good Sky Show cards. He got some good acquisitions. There's positives. But just purely in terms of how he's handled business a lot of the time.
Well, the purse bid pull-outs as well. Callum Simpson, like someone buying a European middleweight title fight for 15 bags. We could have got a credit card, me and you. Got one each and bought that fight ourselves.
You know what, before we get into the fight, and I've got a question for you on the promoters and Ben Shalom. Do you think that overall standout issue for Boxer and Ben Shalom is communication? Because to me, the communication is overall pretty poor, whether it's not talking to fighters, whether it's the contracts aren't understood, purse bids. There's not enough transparency for everybody. That seems to be the issue. The big one.
100%. Because Adam Azim said, I've been calling Ben, I've been calling him, he's not answering. Who's that Scottish coach? Martin Bacoli's one. The one who's always...
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Nelson.
Billy Nelson.
Billy Nelson.
Yeah.
Billy Nelson. He's another. He don't answer the phone. At the end of the day, Why not just answer the phone? So why can't he answer the phone and say, when I've got it sorted, I'll call you, yeah? But there's no point keep calling me because there's nothing sorted.
It's a bit like the guys who are kind of, you know, constantly asking a girl out on a date or a second date. Look, if she's not answered a couple of times, I said no a couple of times, move on, mate. It tells you everything you need to know. They're either not ready or they don't want to talk to you yet. And you know, keep trying to force a square peg into a round hole ain't going to work, is it?
Oh, for sure. Right.
Are we going to dive straight into our predictions, Chris?
Yes. So,
do you want to go first? Or
no, I'll let you go first. How do you think the fight is going to go and who do you think's going to win?
Well, I want you to answer me a question before our predictions. Do you think, Chris, there is an issue with Conor Benn's power moving up to middleweight?
Absolutely.
Because that's my big issue. I'm still picking who I'm picking, but my big issue is I'm not sure Conor Benn can finish, can get the KO, is where I'm going with it.
147, he was knocking everybody out. However, it was combination punching. He wasn't a one-punch KO artist like who was that guy that he beat? He knocked someone. No. It was an early stoppage. Vargas, I think it was Vargas. It was like maybe a premature stoppage. You people can argue, but he was overwhelming people. He was getting some knockdowns at 147. He moves up to light middleweight. He had 2 fights at light middleweight in America, and Conor Benn, he's like his dad, ferocious, loading up on every shot. He ain't putting a dent in these light middleweights, and he hurt Eubank in the fight, but he didn't put him down, and it was a weakened Chris Eubank, and his power is not there at middleweight, so he needs to just box. Obviously, ferocious, do what he was doing, but he can't be loading up on every shot. He needs to pace himself. He will lose again. He will lose again if he don't pace himself, because Eubank Jr. knows what he's coming up against now. He knows.
Yeah, I wanted to discuss, because I think that's a really important aspect of it. And look, Chris Eubank Jr. is a big middleweight, clearly, because he struggles to make 160. So we know he's a big middleweight. He's really more of a super middle, could probably even make 175, but he's not going to campaign not at this stage in his career. I don't think he's going to do that. Particularly,
get destroyed.
168 ain't a greatly competitive division now, but I think 175. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that. But some, maybe other middleweights in that division, more at domestic level. I'm thinking your sort of your Heeneys, your Brad Pauls, your Denzel. But I mean, Denzel Bentley's quite a big middleweight. By the time he's rehydrated. And I think that would be a tough fight at middleweight for Conor Benn. I would actually fancy Denzel Bentley actually in that.
I think if he wins this, win or lose, he can't go back to 147 because it's just going to be bad for business.
Did you think 154?
154, he has to. I'm telling you now.
He's a 154 fighter, Chris, because he come in the ring in the first Eubank fight 157, 158, or on the morning. I'm not sure in the ring what he was at. He comes under 160, quite comfortably.
Exactly. And if you remember his debut, he fought at 154 on his debut. It was 154 on his debut. And he's 28, he's just getting his man strength. It has to be 154. I'm telling you now, if he goes back to 147, he is not going to win nothing. He'll
be drained. It'll be too much. I think he'll take too much out the tank. And I think, it reminds me of a recent fight. I know we don't want to talk about this, but it reminds me a bit of Zach Parker. Zach Parker's in between super middle and light heavyweight, really. And I think Conor Benn's problem is he's sort of in between middle and light middle, really. He's kind of, some people are just how their bodies are, But getting into the prediction, now we've discussed that. Straight off the bat, I think it'll be a Conor Benn points win. I think it'll be close, split decision, majority decision. I don't think it'll be unanimous. I think it'll be a little bit similar to the first, but I'm sure Tony Sims will be saying this is what he's got to do. What we're focusing on Benn, because I'm picking him to win, is that, don't blow your load too early this time, right? You've got used to the occasion. Right, it's because it's at the same stage. It's at the same, almost pretty much identical, isn't it? It's at Tottenham again, all the same setup, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. He's not going to get as overawed with the occasion again. I think he's going to know what to expect. a lot. Obviously, he knows what to expect a lot more. I think he's got much more of an understanding of what he's in there with. You know, he's obviously felt Chris Eubank Jr.'s punches. You know, outside of that 12th round, I mean, showed a good chin in there against a naturally bigger man. And I think he's just got to simply, Chris, conserve a bit of energy early on, try and get Chris Eubank to move around the ring more. In football, we say let the ball do the work, right? If you're chasing the ball around all the time, right, you're going to get goosed, you're going to get fucking knackered. You don't want to be chasing the ball all the time, Chris. And I think it's the same thing. Doesn't want to be going in there the first couple of rounds wild like he did last time. Let Chris do the work. Let him follow you around the ring a little bit. I know that's not his style, but get him using his legs a little bit more. We know they're not underneath him that well these days at that weight, at 160. Surely that's the intelligent way of approaching it. And then as the rounds go on into the mid rounds, just start slowly. He used the word in the presser, in the face-off, systematically, where Eubank Jr. took the piss out of him for using a big word. He said systematically. That's a good word for you, innit? Or something like that. But that to me, when I saw that, I thought, right, that's it. He's switched on now. Systematically, like a lumberjack. You know, you don't go one, you got to take it down slowly, chop it down. And I think that's what he's got to do. And then up the rounds, he's just got to keep upping that volume. And I think Eubank Jr. will be spent. He'll be fucked. So that's my overall. So
I'm going the same way. I go back to the Pinard fight, yeah. He should have lost that fight, really. It was the best six-pounder I've ever seen. 4 knockdowns, amazing. Showed his heart and his will, fighting on instinct. However, in the rematch, he had injuries. He was out the game for about a year, and he had that rematch straight away. I think it was 8 rounds this time or something like that, and he boxed him. And he stuck to a game plan. He listens to his coach, and he was training, and he was working on things. And he's going to do that this time, but it's going to be 10 times harder because it's on the big stage and it's against a top contender. Let's have it right. Yeah, he's not been a world champion, but nearly. He's a nearly man, and very, very good fighter who's got experience. And I just think that this time, as long as he doesn't load up on his punches, paces himself, boxes when he needs to, with the rehydration clause being, again, that's going to be a lot for Eubank to deal with. And I just think Conor Benn's going to learn from the last fight, and he's not let you can see the face-off, the pressers. Eubank is not got in his head this time. And I do believe, because he's going to be that calm when he's in the ring, he's going to follow a game plan, and he's going to stick to things. And where Eubank doesn't really load up on shots, because of his experience, he loads up when he needs to. I think Ben's not going to be scared of his power. So if he loses a round or whatever, he gets hit, he's going to be able to, don't go rushing in, reset, get back to your boxing. Don't Tasmanian devil it like you did last time, like a lunatic. Be calm. And I'm saying Conor Benn, points win for Conor Benn.
Yeah. And look, and obviously, you know, it's a very close fight, isn't it? If Eubank wins again, stops Benn late on, I don't think there's going to be an early stoppage in this, or wins on point. No, none of us are going to be surprised because of the experience Eubank's got. He's also sort of felt him out. He knows what to expect a lot more. Conor Benn surprised him in there. He said that he didn't think he would be as good as what he was.
Yeah, gave him his respect.
So I just think basically me and you are agreeing on this one, I think. I think it's one of those where, I know it's not been long since the last fight, but in terms of adjustments, Conor Benn's got a lot of adjustments and improvements he can make. Chris Eubank Jr. kind of has to do the same thing. So I think where both our heads at, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, if you're thinking the same, is that because of those adjustments and improvements, it's going to equalise it a lot more and just tip it, the balance. If you imagine a scale, it's just going to tip it in favour of Benn, as long as the judges ain't moody and whatever. Yeah. I think that's the key, is that he'll just make enough improvements to get the job done. And I think you're sort of thinking
exactly the same. I don't know who the ref is. Let's just hope it's not Howard Foster, eh?
Not for a fight like this where they're going to maybe be going to war again. No. We don't want any of that, do we? We want to see that's what the two fighters want. Let's see a war.
Yeah. And this fight is about more than world titles. This is about family legacy and family pride. So
Yeah,
yeah. Let them go out on their shield, because that's what they came to do, as they showed last time.
And I want to say, I'm probably being a bit biased. I know we haven't maybe said about our Eubank, but I think we just feel quite strongly in this one. I've got no real allegiance either way. I like them both, really, but I do have an affinity towards Nigel Benn. He's one of my favourite fighters ever.
For good. What a round. It's done him again. Remember now. No, he stopped it already. But Chris Eubank wasn't at all impressed, as he was quick to let the Benn camp know. Nigel Benn is talking to you.
To face me. The thing about him, he's all hype. He's all hype, you know, and I can't wait to November the 18th to give him a good hiding. You know, he went out there, he done a job on a guy. Who was it? Another Sanchez, Gomez, Lopez, who was it? Another road sweeper. And
my dad, who's sadly no longer with us, Nigel Benn was one of his top 3 fighters of all time. So I do have a little bit of biasness, I've got to be honest, towards the Benn family, just for those reasons. So I'm just being honest with it.
I'm objective, because I loved Chris Eubank Sr. When I was younger, he's my favourite fighter.
Record. Oh, I was going to say, I don't know what he's like, Dos Santos, and I don't think we're going to find out. His legs have stiffened up from that, and he's certainly not going to make the count. That was some punch on the side of the head and the ear, and he's pleased with his night's work, you can imagine. And we can have another look at it now, and I'm sure Dos Santos would like to have another look at it coming his way. It's a good...
Will you prove yourself, Chris?
On that particular night in question, I will show that I have what it takes. This man is nothing but, he's the real hype. I come up the hard way. I didn't
prove myself, boy.
You had your time. Let's have some parliamentary procedure here, all right?
Oh, God.
He was my favourite fighter. Like, I had PTSD for about a month after he got beat by Steve Collins. Couldn't believe it. And I thought he had an off day and he was going to beat him in the rematch, so it was even worse second time around. So I love them both, but Chris Eubank Sr., he was my favourite fighter when I was a kid.
You're being super objective.
Yeah. Like,
to be fair.
I watched that fight live, their first one, when I was 8 years old with my dad in a house. Everyone's drinking fucking Super Kestrel, hard Guinness, room filled with smoke. House full, watching the boxing, like great memories. Obviously, that shit can't happen now, but
but that's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting how you still see it as Benn getting the nod. Oh, what was your? Are you going a points win for Benn?
Points win. What points win for Benn? Yeah.
Why do you think close on the score?
Close. It's still going to be close, but I think Ben's going to just edge it. And Eubank's going to run out of steam. And what Ben's not going to do this time is fall for the trap. When Eubank's legs gone last time, Eubank said, let's have it, me and you in the pocket. And Ben didn't need to do that. But because he shot his load, he was just as knackered as Eubank when he shouldn't have been. Because he's the younger, fresher man. But he loaded up on every shot. Eubank didn't. Because a lot of them punches that Eubank were hitting him with in the last rounds, they had nothing on him. But he outworked him. And he didn't have to use as much energy. He didn't have to load up and just outworked him. Just old-manned him in there. And obviously...
Yeah, he wasn't using his legs, was he? Yeah. He was leaning on him, tying him up.
Conor Benn's got to realise, I can't knock him out, so why am I going to stand and trade with him and fight his fight, fight my fight?
Yeah.
That's it.
He's got to use his natural... He's the fresher fighter, right? In terms of his keys to victory, he's got to use that natural kind of youthful exuberance, you know, rely on his tank. And I think at this sort of level, at world level, or it's in and around that, isn't it? You know, and use and manage those 12 rounds, and just a little bit more maturity in there.
Well, that's it from us, Boxing Bros and Play. Your thoughts?
Tell us Eubank Jr. is winning this all day long. Tell us we're full of rubbish.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Help, I need somebody. Help, now just